I grew up in a home with a disabled brother. All of my parents' money and attention went to him. They pretty much forgot that I existed. All of our family activities were predicated on my brother's ability to participate. I did not qualify for financial aid. I was not a great student, and honestly attending college would have been a waste of money. Instead, my grandfather helped me get a job on the oil rigs. It is hard, dirty, lonely work, but it pays very well. I started as a floor hand apprentice. It is basically the lowest of the low. I did not cut off my family, but I did not go out of my way to stay in contact. I was working in another state, and they did not have time for me anyway. I got a call about 10 years later. My little brother had passed away. I went to the funeral, and my folks looked about 25 years older. It was good to see them, but I left pretty quickly afterwards. It is hard to explain, but I never really got attached to them since they had ignored me since I was 5. I was never abused or anything. I was just sort of a second thought. When my girlfriend got pregnant, I was happy. We had been together for 3 years and I was happy with her. I hope I was making her happy. We talked about it, and we decided to get all the tests so we could know if we were going to have a healthy baby. Before the first test, we agreed that if we were not having a healthy baby, then we were not having a baby. I know it is a horrible thing to contemplate, but I had been through that life for 13 years, and I was free of it with no interest in going back. One of the tests came back positive for one of the conditions that we had decided we would not want in a child. Please understand that I am not in any way saying that people with disabilities should not be born. Only that I knew I would not want to be around for that. We had second, third, and even a fourth opinion. I spent a lot of my savings on tests that insurance would not cover in full. It was not a not great time. Then my girlfriend said that she changed her mind, that she could not terminate. I argued with her for days, weeks, until it was too late. I told her that I would not choose to be around to help with the child, that I would pay child support, but that was it. Our relationship was on cruise control from then until the baby was born. I made sure she got home safe from the hospital, and then I went to work, and I never went back. I pay the child support that I was ordered to pay by court. I did not fight it or dodge it, but I have not seen her or her child since the hospital. I got married 3 years later. We are expecting our first child, and I heard from my ex. The child had passed away. She wanted me to come to the funeral. I said no. I knew it was coming. It was still a gut punch. My parents are upset with me for how I handled things. They went to the funeral. I told them that I did not want the life they had lived while my brother was alive, and that my ex had tried to force me into it after agreeing not to. They said that they were disappointed that they had not raised me right. I got angry and said that they had not raised me at all. I asked them to show me anything they had from my childhood that showed that they had taken the slightest interest in me. They said that wasn't fair because they had to care for my brother. I just said that was my point and hung up. I feel like shit about the whole thing, but my ex knew how I felt and why. To this day, I do not understand why she changed her mind. My wife and I talked before getting married and made the same decision. And thank God, we did not have to make it. But she understood how I felt. Her mom and dad talked to us about it, and they told us that we had to do what was best for us. I had told them everything about my past that was relevant to my relationship with their daughter. Sorry for rambling, but I guess I am just trying to put all my thoughts down while I have the courage to ask. Aita? Story 2. The women at my job made a list of the hottest guys and left me off of it. I posted this in another sub, but I was told it didn't fit, so I'm posting it here. So here's the deal. I 2024 work at a store part-time while I'm attending classes. There, a total of 21 of us who work at this store, 13 girls, 8 guys, and we're all around the same age. We have a pretty good working atmosphere, no open hostility so far I know, and everyone gets along well, and jokes around with everyone. Though I will say, the guys and girls do tend to stick together more. As for me, I'm fairly well liked by everyone. I try and be pleasant to everyone I work with because who needs an asshole coworker? Unfortunately, here's where things go bad. One of the guys who work us, Chris Chungchi 3, is dating one of the girls in the store, Ashley Wenwev. Chris was apparently beasing on her phone when he came across the girls' group chat. He said it was mostly girl talk, but he found a list ranking all of the guys in the store by their hotness. He had a laugh about it and screenshotted it to send to our group chat. Everyone saw it and had a laugh at the rankings. The guy at the top, Chad Pui, kept sending crown emojis. Then everyone noticed I wasn't there. I didn't look at the chat till later since I was with my parents at the time and had it on mute. When I saw I wasn't on the list, it was like I was slapped across the face. And the worst part of this? The list was out of 10. And they included the 3 delivery guys who drop off stuff and some of the girls flirt with. This crushed me in a way I don't think I've ever been crushed before. It's like, damn, I'm that much of a hideous monster that I'm not worthy of being ranked. I spent the rest of my day being miserable and not talking to anyone. When I wasn't responding to the chat, the guys all tried to hit me up individually, but I didn't respond. I looked into the chat, and the guys were starting to be pissed on my behalf, which I definitely didn't want. I decided to call in sick the next day, and when I didn't show up, apparently it all came out into the open. The girls at the store started messaging me, apologizing to me, and making all kinds of excuses. Quite frankly, I didn't care. I decided to face the music the next day and suck it up at work. When I walked into work, the atmosphere was a lot more tense than it usually was. Becky, who is the assistant manager and was on the group chat, pulled me to the side and asked if we could talk. I said, okay. She apologized on behalf of everyone in the chat and said that the list was not serious. It was girl talk and not meant to be seen outside the chat. She said that everyone, especially the woman at the store, like me for far more valuable things than simply how I look, and that if it were a list of nicest guys in the store, I'd be number one. I couldn't help but feel like this was damage control and being friend-zoned all in one motion. I said thank you, but I'm past it, and I don't want anyone's pity, and I went about my day. Of course, I did end up getting that pity with a lot of the guys coming over to talk to me, and some of the girls as well. I got so fed up I went to the manager and asked to go home early. She agreed because she kinda knew what was going on. This was all about 5 days ago, and since then, everyone at the store has been trying to get me to talk, but I haven't gone back. I don't want pity, and I don't want sympathy. If they think I'm ugly, then fine. But don't try and justify it, or make me feel better about it. The reason I'm here is because I need advice on how to navigate the situation at my job and with my friends. How do I tell everyone to basically leave me alone and not pity me? Because honestly, I'm leaning towards just quitting. Edit. Hey everyone, I'm reading your comments and I thank everyone for their input, the tough love and all. I just wanted to pop in here and say one thing. I didn't feel entitled to them thinking I was hot. I don't feel entitled to sex or whatever from them. I'm not a nice guy or an incel. The reason I was upset is because them leaving me off the list for relative strangers felt pretty cruel and messed up. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I guess it sucks, I'm not attractive to them. But being left off entirely felt like a step too far. Update. Hey everyone, I'm back and boy do I have an update for you. I can't believe this situation exploded so much. There was a fight, arrests, and I think someone might be getting divorced. Okay, not really. People wanted to know how I was doing, so I decided I'd just make an update. I just wanted to clear up a few things. First, I didn't care necessarily if they found me ugly or whatever. I just felt like being left off the list was a deliberate slap in the face. I didn't, or don't, feel entitled to anything. Next, the manager of the store, Barb, was not involved in the group chat in any way. She's a 38-year-old married woman with 2 kids who is far too busy trying to get us to stop smoking weed behind the store on our breaks. What I meant to say is that she was made aware of the situation after it was brought to her attention. Third, I wasn't aware of the list right away. I was with my parents and wasn't paying attention to the chat. Now, after reading the comments on the first thread, I decided that while I could be upset that I was deemed unattractive, I probably shouldn't care as much I did. I kinda wanted to discover why not being on the list hurt me so much, so I took my sister's advice and will be seeking a therapist. Funny enough, my grandpa has a saying that came to mind when reading the comments in the first thread. Whenever my dad or his brothers and sisters would be upset about something, my grandpa would tell them, I didn't get wounded in the Iadrang Valley so you could sit there and cry about X. The X could be anything. The point is, he was telling them to toughen up. It became a joke among my aunts and uncles that passed down to my cousins, so I could hear my grandpa telling me in head, I didn't get wounded in the Iadrang Valley so you could sit there and cry about some girls thinking you're ugly. And that got me up a bit. I was still feeling kinda shitty, but I decided to put on a brave face and tell my manager I'd come into work the next day after posting the thread. As soon as I walked in, the manager took me to her office and said the owner of the store wanted to see me. I wasn't really worried since I had a good relationship with Carl, who was the owner. Carl told me he heard about the story and he was sorry about everything. He said the list was childish and unprofessional, and he was sorry I had to take time off to deal with it. He said the girls all got a strong reprimand and a stern warning that this wouldn't be tolerated in the future. He also suspended Becky because he said she should have not been in the chat to begin with, and if she was, she should stop the list stuff. He also emphasized that he told everyone that he hadn't talked to me yet, and that he wasn't punishing anyone because I asked for it. He also said he'd pay me for the shifts I missed as a bit of compensation for the mental distress. I thanked him and told him I was over it pretty much right away. I just hated having everyone think I needed coddling and wanted everything to cool down. With that, we shook hands and I started my day. Everyone welcomed me back, and I said hey to everyone. I went to my locker and found a letter slipped inside. It was a handwritten letter from all the girls. I'll summarize here because the list was long. In it, they apologized profusely for the chat and the list. They said that nothing was going to make it right or make me believe them, but they wanted to say, once again, the list was non-serious and meant to be some stupid fun, and no one was meant to see it. They said that they all loved me individually, that I was a good person, and that makes me more attractive than most people who are considered hot. Interestingly, they said I was considered cute. Okay, then LOL. I flagged down one of the girls on shift who I get along with really well, Sam enough, to tell the group that I accept their apology. I told her to tell them that I got over it pretty much right away, that I just took time off because I wanted the situation to die down and that I didn't take anything personally. Also, I told her that I'm sorry that anyone got in trouble. I didn't talk to the Barb or Carl about anything until today. I didn't want this to become an issue at all. Unfortunately, the guys made it an issue on my behalf. Sam apologized again and told me she'd tell everyone. And that's that. Sorry if this was not the explosive post you all were looking for. I just wanted to get this situation resolved as soon as possible and put behind me so that I and everyone else can move on. I am thinking about not returning next semester, however. So thanks all. I appreciate your comments and helping me get through this little episode in my life.